Hey guys, Richard Smith here with WODPTV. I am in the studio with Carson Johnson, 95.1 The Maverick. I want to ask you a question, Carson. First of all, thank you for letting me be here. This is so awesome. I want to hear about the history of the Maverick 95.1. What can you tell me?
No, man, Richard, so good for you to drop in and to get to talk to you again. You know, you and I had met a few years back, and you had this project in the works back then. So to see you coming this far is already pretty cool anyway.
Thank you.
And let me tell you, 95.1 The Maverick is quite literally a dream come true between myself and Chuck Marsh. Chuck is the primary owner of the Maverick, and he and I started talking, gosh, it must have been over 4 years ago, that we just started kicking around this idea of, okay, if we could run our own radio station, what would it be? And so we started kicking this idea around. I was working at another radio station and wasn't entirely happy there. Chuck was actually owner of another set of radio stations down in Roanoke Rapids, wasn't entirely happy there. It was his dream to own a radio station right here in his hometown in Burlington. This is where his family lives, and this is where his kids are growing up and going to school. It was his dream to own a radio station right here in Alamance County. And we both were into the same thing. And we were both pretty much in alignment with what radio should be. We had this feeling that country radio was broken somehow. It had gotten away with what radio was supposed to be. It wasn't local anymore. It was owned by big national corporations. It was publicly traded on the stock market. It was folks trying to figure out, all right, if we can fire this many people, we can make this much more money. And the listeners were gone. They weren't important anymore. The music wasn't important anymore. And so we knew that if we wanted it to be successful, those were part of the things that we had to do. We founded the Maverick literally for 3 reasons, and we knew that if we did it in this order, we were going to be successful. We said, all right, number one, and this is sort of the manifesto here. This is what we're built on. Number one, to glorify God and Jesus Christ. To number 2, love on Alamance County, and number 3, play great country music. And if we do those 3 things, we know we're going to be successful. So we make sure that we don't forget about the legends of the country music, you know, the Johnny Cashes, the Hank Williams. If there ever comes a day when Johnny Cash or Hank Williams is not played on the radio, country music is done.
That's right. That's right.
So we stay to those 3 things, and we know we're going to be successful.
Awesome. Yeah, Country Boy Can Survive, one of my favorite songs by Hank Williams Jr. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, that really is, we have found as we learn about the Maverick kinfolk, we don't call people who listen to the radio station listeners because they're more important than that. They're family. So we call them kinfolk. And the Maverick kinfolk, a lot of them live the life of a country boy can survive.
That's right. You guys just got finished with a Christmas project that I want to talk about. Can you tell me all about that?
Yeah, so it's a Kinfolk Christmas, and it came to us, actually, our friends over at First Source Equipment Rentals came to us, and they said, hey, look, we want to do something for the community, and we've got $3,000, and we want to match dollar for dollar everything that you can raise for Alamance County families at Christmas time. And they said, let's partner with the Burlington Police Department and the Alamance County Sheriff's Office. They're big supporters of law enforcement, as are we, and so that just seemed like the logical charities to go with. And so they said, all right, we're leaving it to your ability to raise the money, and we'll match it dollar for dollar up to $3,000. We said, okay, great, let's do it. So we called it a Kinfolk Christmas, and we put it out there. And we said, all right, if you can donate to this, please do what you can. And the money's going to go to the Burlington PD Shop with the Cop and the Sheriff's Office's Stuff the Patrol Car. Well, partway through all of this, Tim Marco over at Granddaddy's Antiques heard about it. And Tim said, hey, I want in. So he says, I'll match up to $3,000 too. So now we were at $6,000 potentially. Now we have the potential to raise $9,000. And as of the moment that you and I are speaking, actually, we are less than $500 away from our $3,000 goal.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we have managed to, through the help of the Maverick kinfolk, to raise $9,000, and it all stays right here in Alamance County for families that otherwise would have kids not getting Christmas presents. They would be going several weeks without groceries, and it's going to help pay for all of those things.
Wow, that is just extraordinary. Alamance County kinfolk, your radio station has a reach of about what, Alamance County?
Yep, we cover our FM signal covers all of Alamance County pretty solidly. We get into Guilford County a little bit. We get into Caswell County a little bit. We've actually got a new signal that we are in the works of. It's going to be our current signal is 95.1. Our new signal is going to be 94.3. So we're going to have both of them on at the same time. It's going to be the exact same programming. You'll hear the same music, same jocks, everything. But it's going to take us further east. So whereas before you lost us right there about the Orange County line, we're actually now going to be moving into Hillsborough and even into Chapel Hill a bit.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And folks, great country music at its best, right there. The old stuff along with some of the new stuff. What country music is supposed to sound like.
Yeah, part of that is we have one motto when it comes to music. If it's great country, we will play it. And that means literally all the way back to Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys, Hank Williams Sr., all the way up to, actually, we're playing the brand new Gary Allen. We'll play a Thomas Rhett song every now and then. I'm not a huge Thomas Rhett fan, but he has put out several songs that I believe are great country music, so we play them. We don't draw any lines other than it's got to be country.
Amen. You have got to have met, I mean, you've been doing this for how long now?
Oh, gosh. I started in radio when I was 17 years old, and so that means 20 years now, I guess.
20 years.
Now. Yeah.
Wow. Tell me some stories about some of the country singers that you have met that stick out in your mind as some of your favorites.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so actually recently here at the Maverick, got to hang out with Billy Crash Craddock. He was in the studio. He and Joe Don Baker are good friends. And Joe Don called up Crash and said, "Hey, why don't you come in and just take over the show one night? And you pick the music, we'll tell stories, we'll hang out." So Joe Don calls me up and he says, "Hey, Crash is coming over. Let's go to lunch." So we go to dinner actually, just down the road a little ways. We go to dinner and got to hang out with Crash Craddock, who I realized is literally just you and I. He is just a normal guy.
Just a good old country boy.
He is just a good old guy and just an incredibly cool guy. Let's see, over the years I've gotten to meet Charlie Daniels a couple of times, that was the moment for me.
Right.
Charlie Daniels, literally the first memory that I have is of hearing The Devil Went Down to Georgia on my mom's car radio. And I stole my parents' Charlie Daniels cassette tape and I wore it out. So getting to meet Charlie Daniels, that was a moment for me. That was incredible. And then getting to meet some of your lesser known artists that are making great country music today. You've got folks like B.J. Barham. He has a band called American Aquarium. It's a national band. They are hitting it big right now. Well, he's from Reedsville and based out of Raleigh now. Got to meet him back before he was really hitting it big. And to see him go from there to where he is now and see the growth in BJ has been incredible. And a lot of these guys that we play on the Maverick, that's who they are. They're folks that aren't getting the recognition they deserve outside of, say, Texas, like the Randy Rogers Band or Aaron Watson. Those guys are huge in Texas. They're selling out 50,000 seat arenas.
Wow.
But if they leave Texas, then they're lucky to sell out a 300 person show. So Aaron Watson, he is one of these guys that I've been fortunate enough to know for quite a while. And he is now actually one of the best-selling independent country artists of all time. He has the distinction of having 2 #1 charting releases, album releases. This never happened for an independent artist. So I got to meet Aaron for the first time. He came to a show. It was in Charlotte, and I don't even remember the name of the bar. And he did a show down there, and I came up to him afterwards, and he's one of these guys that, you know, doesn't matter how many people are in line, he's going to talk to everybody, and he's going to know their life story by the time they're done. And I realized that I'm literally talking to the nicest man in music ever. So he was the one I think that really sticks out in my mind.
Awesome. That's great. Got to have a lot of fun doing what you do. I mean, it's got to be a blast. I know that you care so much about your community. I mean, this radio station, its purpose, you guys are out there because of the people, and I think that is so awesome.
Yeah, so we actually sort of have a joke in radio that, you know, without the rest of the folks, without the kinfolk, without the listeners, we're just talking to ourselves. So, I mean, it's because of them, it's because of the Alamance County kinfolk that I get to literally have my dream job. And, you know, that's a pretty humbling experience. Right. That's a pretty humbling thing to realize, that it's really because of them that I even have a job. So.
You get out there, I see it all the time. You get out there on Facebook and you're doing Facebook Live, you're at an event, you're talking to people. It's like, hey, cool, Carson's out there at so-and-so place. And you're just out there having a good time, enjoying the company of everybody, and you're doing a great job. So, Carson, I know you have great staff here. Please tell me some things, and if you want to throw in a little anecdote here and there, a little joke, that's fine. We're not going to make fun of anybody, but, you know, tell me some stories about your staff and what's going on.
Gosh, all right. We literally could not have put together a better team here at the Maverick if we had tried. And a lot of it just sort of came to us. When we first launched, I think it was Chuck, Leanne, myself, Joe Don Baker, and Tom Britt. And it was basically us. And from there, it has grown to just this incredible family. I mean, literally, Tom, we couldn't have asked for a better newsman. You know, Leanne is probably the best person as far as talent goes, the best I've ever worked with in radio. She's incredible. I learned from her every single day. Chuck, of course, speaks for himself with his history with several other major radio stations all over the state, and having absolutely #1 morning shows. I mean, he is a pure radio professional and incredible talent. And then, of course, you bring in folks like Tina. Tina's one of our salespeople here at the Maverick. She's basically my little sister. And so we cut up constantly, and it's just the back and forth between us makes it even more fun every single day. You know, that's really the fun of this radio station, is the folks that I get to do radio with. You know, radio is not fun unless you do it with your friends. And so I get to do it with my friends and my family every single day. And I'm not going to try to name everybody because I know I'd screw up and leave somebody out. But we have absolutely the coolest team here that we could ever hope for.
It's a lot of fun when you can just sit here and pick with somebody and cut up and just have a blast. And then you get to do it on air so everybody can hear it. And I mean, that's got to be, you know you're living it now. You're probably laughing inside while you're doing it, you know, having a great time.
Oh yeah, you know, working with, Tina is a prime example where literally conversations that we'll have off the air, next thing you know, that becomes a liquidation station commercial, or that becomes something that I'm talking about on the radio, and she's texting me going, "Don't you dare talk about that on the radio."
Got to be a blast. Carson, I understand you're a married man.
Yeah. I am fortunate to have been able to marry Miss Christie, who I dated she put up with me for, I think, 5 years before we got married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we dated for 5 years, and this actually led right into the launching of the Maverick in a way. We dated for about 5 years, I think, and we were waiting because I knew that the radio station I was working at the time, I knew that job wasn't where I was going to stay. And so when I eventually actually that station was sold to Chuck, it's what became the Maverick. So when that station was sold to Chuck, unbeknownst to either Chuck or myself, they laid me off.
Oh, great.
So all of a sudden, I get laid off. Chuck has bought the Maverick, but we're still over a year away from being able to launch it. And so during that year, I actually went out on the road. I did some freelance stuff with a friend over at SOS Productions. He's a sound and lighting guy, the Colonel, Bill Sanders. So I worked for Bill for I think about 6 months or so. Went down to Charlotte, worked with another friend on a engineering project down there. We were doing a massive network install. And so somewhere over that year, when I didn't have a job, I decided that was the right time to get married. So we got married in November of 2018, November the 10th. So celebrated our second anniversary actually just last month. And so we got married. That was it was a pretty interesting year because in that year we got married, we launched the radio station, and the Washington Nationals won the World Series. So that was a big year for me. It really didn't get much better than that.
Right. What, Chicago Cubs? Yeah, they would win the World Series. That would be that's awesome. Yeah, what is it? Behind every good woman is a man. No, behind every good man is a woman.
That's how it works.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that out. You play a lot of great country music that people can recognize right off the bat, but you also help support local country and musicians here in Alamance County. Fill me in a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's just kind of part of, again, what the Maverick was started to do. That sort of falls under the both loving Alamance County and playing great country music. There's a lot of really great country music out there, like I said, that doesn't get the attention it deserves. And a lot of it is being made right here in Alamance County or right here in North Carolina. There's a couple off the top of my head that stick out to me. Matt Boswell. Matt Boswell is actually based out of Cascade, Virginia, but I met him downtown Burlington actually over at a buddy of mine, Big Germ, owns the Music Mania recording studio. And I met Matt down there at Germ's place one night. We were working on another project, and Matt was there. And we literally started talking. I realized I felt like I'd known the guy my whole life. And so I'm talking to Matt, and we're sort of in between stuff, and he's just sort of picking on his guitar, and he goes, "Hey, check this out," and he starts playing me a song called "Me and Haggard," and he's like, "I hadn't finished it. It's just got like the first verse of it," and he picks it for me. I'm like, "Matt, as soon as you finish that song, send it to me. I will put it on the radio." And so it was about 6 months later, he went into Germ's studio and recorded it right here in Burlington and sent me that song. We've been playing that and several of his other songs ever since. Matt's one of those incredible talents that just, he deserves national attention. Matt Lovett is another one. Mason Lovett Band. They have been pretty much tearing up Alamance County for as far back as I can remember.
And they have a huge crowd coming.
They have one of the biggest followings I've ever seen. They play a show anywhere in the area, and it's a sure sellout. And Matt Lovett, I've known Matt forever. I actually knew Matt before he was really playing music because he and my brother knew each other. So that's sort of that Alamance County, everybody knows everybody kind of thing. But Matt is one of the most talented singers and songwriters that I've ever heard. Of course, Sudik's been playing guitar for him forever. The rest of the boys, Mason Lovett. Got to see them not too long ago. They were playing with the Back Porch Orchestra and some of the guitar players for the Back Porch Orchestra. You know,
Bonnie and Chris.
And Bonnie, that's right.
Bonnie is so awesome. She's got such a voice. Chris is just such a great guitar player.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and so seeing them together, because that's kind of part of what the Alamance County music scene is like. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody plays with everybody. So we get to see these folks and support them while they're all supporting us as well. You know, they play so many of our events. We just end up showing up at events that they're playing at. They play in the bars that we go to and work with, and they are absolutely crucial to what we're doing too. And so we make sure that we're playing them on the radio. Every time that Ain't Nothing Waylon Hadn't Done comes on the radio, Tina will look at me and go, that song should be a national hit. And I agree.
Yeah, it's a great local music here. Awesome singers. I mean, we're lucky and very privileged to have such great music right here in Alamance County. We have a lot of great businesses here in Alamance County. The lifeline of Alamance County is the small businesses. Tell me a little bit about that from your perspective.
Yeah, that really is honestly a big part of what we're doing here at the Maverick, and that is supporting local. That comes under 11 on Alamance County. The small businesses, the locally owned businesses here in Alamance County, like you said, that's the lifeblood here. When you spend money with a local business, that money stays here in Alamance County. Those folks, they live here, they work here, they shop here, their kids go to school here, and they turn around and they spend their money here as well. And they support other small businesses. When we go out to eat, first thing we do is we think, okay, what are the local restaurants we want to eat at? Mm-hmm. When I want to buy a TV, I think, okay, where can I buy a TV locally? Oh, Alamance TV and Home Furnishings. That's how we think. And it's had to become a mindset for us. But what's cooler is it's become a mindset for the Maverick kinfolk. Mm-hmm. Even to the point that small businesses are intentionally doing business with other small businesses. We might get a call one day from Dale Mann. He's with Dale's Towing. Mm-hmm. Get a call from Dale, and he'll go, "Hey, Carson, where's somewhere that I can get a TV from?" "Oh, well, Alamance TV and Home Furnishings." or it might go the other way around. Dave Morton might call us up and say, "Hey, car's broke down. I need a tow. Who do I call?" Well, you call up Dale Mann. And so folks are literally going out of their way to try to do business with other local businesses. And seeing that has been an incredible thing to see. And right here in Alamance County, which is, I think it's the 5th fastest growing county in the state. And to see that it's not only growing faster than anybody else, it's doing it by spending with itself and giving preference to the small businesses over, say, the Walmarts of the world.
So Carson, I really have enjoyed my visit here. I mean, it's cool to see your setup, to see all the mixing equipment, the microphones. It just feels like, this is a good hometown country radio station. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
The biggest thing is, one, thank you for sitting down. I am really humbled, actually, that you thought of us to speak with us, and that's really cool. It's a big honor to me and to all of us here at the Maverick. But two, the biggest thing is I got to thank Alamance County for the support that we've been shown. It's amazing. I mean, every day I wake up and I'm blown away again by the support that Alamance County shows the Maverick, and we could not be doing it without Alamance County. So thank you to Alamance County. Thank you, Richard, for what you're doing too.
I appreciate that. You guys check it out on the radio station at 95.1 The Maverick. This is Richard and Carson saying have a great day.